Okay children, we are coming to the second point. The first point we have talked about the factors of production. The second point is farming in Palampur. You can see in that we have 7 points given here and we shall be talking in detail what are these points. Out of this, all the points, every point is important to understand the economics of the country or a particular area. But we have, I am giving you a question here. Is there a way one can grow more from the same land is an important question. It comes in your 3 marks question. So you should pay attention towards that. So now we shall be going with all the clarifications of the point. Farming in Palampur, in any of the area. So land is fixed. It is understood. It is a very basic one. If at all you are in a particular area, it is India. The land is fixed. When the population is growing, when the requirement for the land is increasing, the population is growing, the residential lands are required. Can we increase and stretch our India? It is confirmed that it is whatever you are supposed to do, you should do in that particular territory only. When you are talking about the land, it goes on with the lands are divided into different kinds of terrains. In science, we keep on learning about this. There are different, like it is, we have the plains, plateaus, then desert areas, mountain areas, everything is land. Can I do agriculture in those lands? For that we have a particular land, agricultural, here cultivable lands. I can't say this is the land I have, so you can go and have your agriculture there. But it is a desert area. Can I do my agriculture there? Can the irrigation go on there? Not possible. So in the whole of country, we are dividing the lands into different types. In that, what is the cultivable land we have? What is the amount of cultivable land we have? Can that be increased? Why should we increase? That also is a question. Okay, can a land be increased or stretched? Of course not. Whatever we can do in that particular land only. Whatever the land, the fertile lands we have under agriculture, whatever we are given to, we can use only that much of land for the agriculture and we can make the production. So obviously the land is a fixed one. Okay, the second one is there a way one can grow more from the same land? We have, as I told you, it is the land is divided and this is the cultivable land, it is agriculture land. Can we grow more out of that? Okay, what are the types of crops we have? We are going in 2 seasons, Rabi and Kharif. The rainy season is your Kharif season. In that we go with jawar, maize and all. And in the Rabi season, it is the summer season, we go with wheat. So, in between, and what is the sowing period to the harvesting period? What is the time period we have? From the point of your sowing to the harvesting, we have 4 to 5 months. And 4 to 5 months, what is the rest of the months the land doing? It's just waste. In the very initial stages, when we started with our agriculture, it was just we used to go with the Rabi and the Kharif season plants for whatever the staple food we could get. Now, as the technology was growing and we were getting modernized, lots of technologies were coming into, like we were using the HIV seeds, like we were going with the different high-level pesticides and fertilizers. The same way we wanted to see that the food, whatever we are producing from the lands, that should grow because the population is growing. The population rise, the demand for the food raises. So we should increase. But here the constraint is, the land is fixed. Population is raising, but the land is fixed. The production should be raised. I cannot raise my land here. Whatever the maximum land we have for the agriculture or cultivation, that is being used. But it is only for 4 months and 4 months. Rest of the 4 months the land is not used. It is waste. Can I utilize that 4 months only is the option I can do here. I cannot extend my land for Rabi and Kharif only and leave all of my lands for 4 months waste. So what is the thing I can do for that 4 months? That is your Z period. In between, like potatoes, like groundnuts, like watermelons, muskmelons, these can be grown which goes on with only 2 months of your harvesting period. So, in between we started going on with using these waste lands or waste time we were using to grow the watermelons and groundnuts. This is known as your Z period, Z-A-I-D, Z period, Rabi period, Kharif period, and in between these 2 periods, whatever the time period we were having, we were trying to utilize that one. So, this way we can grow more in the same land, but we cannot extend the land. This comes to an end of this point. Next point is, will the land sustain? What is the meaning of sustain? बचा रहेगा, मर जाएगा. Can we ask this land बचा रहेगा, मर जाएगा या जिंदा रहेगा? How can a land be alive or dead? That is what the question is. When you are going with these all things, when the land is fixed, when we are trying to use the land to its maximum, we were having like 4 months and 4 months, and in between we were having the 4 months left out, where slash and burn technique is used, and we are leaving the land to replenish by itself, to get its minerals back. Once the sowing is done, the plant is trying to extract the minerals from the land. So we are trying to leave it so that it is getting a replenishing back, it is getting its minerals back. But now what are we doing? We are not even leaving that time, and we are continuously using throughout 24/7. It is like 12 months working of the land is going on. Where is the time for the land to get its mineral back naturally? So artificial things are being put from the outside. The fertilizers are put to it so that the plant absorbs it and the plant is big. Scientists are alerting us, saying that the land is totally losing its fertility. So the question goes on with, will the land sustain? Almost like it is Punjab. We have the example, Punjab and Haryana. They are the world famous lands, where one of the highest producing lands in the whole of Asia in wheat and rice. That is your Punjab. When you go with the fertility test of Punjab and Haryana lands, the fertility test is 0. The fertility or the minerals in the land, in those lands, are totally lost, and we are continuously using the external fertilizers and pesticides to keep going and to produce the wheat from the land. If you want to go in a natural production, then the land is not going to support you. There is nothing. It has almost become a barren land there. Now the same way here, will the land sustain? Of course it will not sustain. But what is the other option? When we are supposed to feed our population, we are supposed to get the food, what is the other option we can do? After doing so many things, only we are able to feed our population, or else our population will be under starvation. So the land, of course, is not going to sustain, and we are harming it every day by day we are degrading it. And why this condition has arisen? Because of green revolution. Because we have got lots of changes in the agricultural technologies. We have got modernization, we have got HYV seeds, we have got revolution into the agricultural, like it is, the tractors have been bought, and everything has become so very faster, and no time is given for the replenishment, for bringing back its mineral naturally. So definitely the land is going to die off. Others, we have to take care, but there is no other option. But the land is not going to sustain if the conditions are prevailing in the same way. The next point goes on with, how is the land distributed between the farmers of Palampur? How do you think the lands are distributed, not Palampur, in any of the village? Is it equally distributed among all the people in the village? Or all the farmers are having equal number of, everyone is having the same number of, same amount of land, so that they can cultivate and they can live happily? Everyone is having land, or only some of them are having land and some of them are not having land? We have the variations in the population. These variations only we are trying to look in by the example of our Palampur. Just open to your page number 6 and see the page there. You can see a picture here. How the lands are divided. You have the larger ones on one side. You can see the small ones scattered here. You can see the medium-sized ones also. This is how generally the lands are divided. We shall be talking this with an example. You have an example in your textbook that Govind, with his 3 sons, he has a hectare of. Before that, I shall be telling, in Palampur, as we were talking about, it is a small village with 450 families. And in that 150 families, they were Dalits. Means they had nothing, no lands, and they were just the laborers to that. And 250 families, they were moderate, middle class people with 2 or just about 2 hectares, which is just enough for their families to go with the production and feeding their family, which is only enough to sustain with the production and sustain their family. And rest of the left out families, they are the bigger ones who had lots of lands, and these Dalits were working there and they were getting the profits, and they are having lots of lands, and whatever the profit they get, they will be buying the lands in the next coming years. So their lands are getting extended. The Dalits are not at all having lands and they are working only on the basis of wage. This is the condition. Now here, the distribution. Now we are going with the example of Govind. In Govind's case, he is having just a land of 2.25 hectares, 2 hectares, that is little more than that one, 2.25 hectares, and he is having 3 sons. And his wife, of course. So it is a family of 5 members. Now, they were working the whole year along with the 3 children. He was working in the farm and able to produce a amount of whatever is been produced there. And it was seen that it is just enough for the family to sustain. It's enough. It is not more, nothing surplus is coming out or not they are going into deficit. It was just okay. After few years when the children they just grew up, Govind dies off. He gets older and he dies off. And now this particular 2.25 hectares land was divided between 3 of the sons. Where the condition is 2.25 hectares of land was not just sufficient for 5 members, not extra, anything extra was not coming, surplus was not coming there. It was just sufficient. That land had been divided into 3 parts. Every son will be having his own family. A wife and 2 children, We are just making an assumption. In that small piece of land, 4 members have to sustain now. Is that possible? Of course not. That is what the small lands are showing here. Where a person having a bigger land and that had been divided into the small according to the children they have, small bits it has been divided. And which is not enough for them to go with the production and not enough to sustain their family for the whole year. Because once the production is done, that material has to be used for a whole year. And if at all you have a surplus amount of production, that will be going off in your sales and you will be earning some money there. But here that is not the possibility. So this Govind's son, they had to work in their land, the small pieces of land they had to work. And they had to go off to the next lands also where the large landowners were there and who were in requirement of the laborers. They had to go to those lands and work and as a part-time. So they had to do both the work they had to do and they had to look into that which is just having a supplement which we can say it is just supporting their family, and at the same time they were going outside in the other farms and working for the landlords. This is how the distribution of the land is uneven. It's not equal there. At the same time, whoever is having larger lands, they are the zamindars and all, larger lands, they are enjoying all the profits. Whoever is having the moderate one, they are able to just sustain, no profit. And the last one, the small bits one, they were working in their farms as well as they were working in the other farms. And we have one more category, the landless laborers. They don't have any land. They are not that very rich enough to have or to purchase a small bit of land. So they are the landless laborers. These are the categories we can find in any of the villages. These landless laborers, always they have to go to other farms for working, and whatever the wage they can get, and they will be getting that wage in the form of wage, money, kind. Sometimes they are given a bag of rice, sometimes they are given some vegetables at that time, sometimes they are given the money. So like that they will be working.